NeuroGum was 2024 TikTok's fastest growing brand. What's the secret to TikTok?
Secret to TikTok is consistency. That's it. Like with anything else in life, right? And we had a New Year's resolution, our head of growth and I, Jonathan He and I, starting on January 1st of 2024, we were going to post every single day on TikTok, just ourselves. And as we started posting every single day, we had to get better understanding of hooks. We had a better understanding of what works and what doesn't on TikTok and really understanding the platform. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm using this TSP, which is like a TikTok partner, or like a TAP, TikTok affiliate partner, and trying to see what they're doing and like, what's an agency that will work for you or what doesn't. And it's like, dude, we built everything in-house ourselves. Because if you don't know how a platform works, or if you don't know how creators work in general, you're not going to be able to understand how to direct them or navigate them in the right direction, right? So for us, it was like, let's learn this platform like crazy. And then June, July hit, and all of a sudden, all the hooks that we were testing, that we knew worked, that we were feeding into our creators, just started popping. And we also cultivate our creators like crazy. So we have our Discord channel, we have a great community, we have a tier system. And so people have an understanding of how they can move up and work better with us and work alongside us in whatever is working on that platform.
You just said a lot right there. We're going to unpack all that. I think that's so ironic too that you focused on just the inputs. That's actually exactly what we're doing for the podcast right now. Is we have a goal, just do X amount of podcasts, iterate, optimize, and kind of figure out what we're going to do. Same thing, actually. 6 months is our goal, and then we're going to kind of put our heads up to breathe and kind of see where we're at. So let's just talk about natively the content that you're putting on TikTok. Were you taking winning content from elsewhere, or do you just say, hey, I'm going to take a starter's growth mindset and we're going to start from scratch and just put content on there and start?
I mean, it's a combination of both, right? Like all channels, at the end of the day, a hook is what resonates with the consumer. And that's all business and that's all marketing. So for us, we have like an Excel sheet literally of hooks. Like we want to test out like media appearances that have worked, like Joe Rogan mentioned us yesterday again, for example. And those clips are invaluable to be able to build our credibility and push out what's working and what's not. And when these creators started tapping into like, it's really just A/B testing everything at the end of the day, like anything in life, anything in business, and seeing what works. So there's no real secret formula beyond understanding your product, understanding what resonates with what consumer, and then driving full force into it.
Let's just walk through that step-by-step process. So you guys have your Google Sheet. You start off, you're like, hey, we're going to create content. We probably understand and know there's X, we have these 10 hooks that we think works, these 10 value props that work. And you are literally just saying, hey, let's test the first one, the second one, the third one. And then you're just looking at micro metrics, whether it be views or click-throughs, and then you're just iterating from there.
So we make every single creator sit through like a 3-hour orientation every time they join. It's like a video that we record and we send them this Notion and we know if they went through it or not. And so once the creator has a really deep understanding of our product, yes, the hook is a part of it, but how are they iterating on the hook to move it forward? And when we're talking about micro metrics, yes, we know these hooks work at whatever X percentage, people are resonating, people are staying on board like for X amount of time. But from there, moving it forward into what is the creator adding on top of that? And the creator can only add on top of that if they really understand your brand and they're really dedicated to your brand, which is what we've built. And all these other agencies are sending out mass messages every single day, Like it's so superficial in their approach. And for us, we went so deep into it. We treat our creators well. Like we give great commissions, we give them great product. That's what works. And then if someone else is working also, these creators all talk to each other. So if a creator sees a hook that's working and then all these talking points, it's almost like the system works on its own after a certain point because these creators are calculating what's working and then pushing it forward more so than us feeding them metrics than anything else.
I really want to go step by step. So just starting from ground level zero.
Yeah.
You have your Excel sheet, you have your content, you have your hooks, you have your value props, you test things. And then you think the next best thing is to create some sort of SOP or Notion or Loom video that outlines everything. And then you're saying you're then reaching out to pre-qualified influencers and basically making them go through this tutorial. And what? Are you giving them like a quiz to understand and know if they read it? How do you know if they really understand and know?
Yeah, our brand manager basically dives in and like asks them like very specific questions. But even beyond that, it's like, I think I'm going to be super high level right now.
Yeah.
Culture is everything. right? And I was in there as co-founder, CEO, literally talking to these creators. I had like a whole Zoom meeting with them, and I try to do this once every quarter to basically translate our culture of the company into them and make them feel like they're a part of us. And I feel like a lot of other companies that are not succeeding on TikTok or are only doing like, even like maxing out at 100K in sales a month on TikTok are lacking that connection. Because a creator's only going to be so driven by money. But if you create this gaming system, this culture, this creator group where all of them are friends now, and they're all talking and they're iterating and they're brainstorming on what's working and what's not, that builds on itself over and over and over again. So yes, there is a calculated process. And if it's step by step, here's the hooks and everything that's working. We throw that into our orientation sheet on Notion, pass that on to the creators so that they know what to talk about. But then after that, it's how do we keep building on this culture of neuro that we try to show out into the world and have the creators adopt it.
And these creators all live, you mentioned, in a Discord channel, which your brand manager interacts with them in there, and potentially you can come in there and talk to them about stuff?
Our head of growth is in there, our brand manager is in there. And then there's other, I guess, semi-disconnected Discords where they talk to each other as well.
And to give us context, like how many people are in there for you guys?
It's a two-tiered answer because originally we had 500 people in there. Wow. And we would keep, like, if you don't perform, you kind of get kicked out. Like there's a GMV goal that you have to reach. But we have basically two pockets now where there's like a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3. Basically, you could work your way up into certain hierarchies of the creators.
What would you say is like the most overrated advice you're hearing out there specifically about TikTok?
Man, it's like, I keep going back to like the TikTok agency partners, that are vetted and everything. Like all these guys are doing exactly the same thing. They'll charge you like whatever percentage plus a retainer every single month. And they're like, we're going to have all these creators just pumping out video for you. And that only works so far. It's the same with like Facebook ads, like everything hits like a saturation point and it stops working. How are you as a company, as a leader, whether it's me or whether it's our head of growth or whoever is managing these Discord groups, how are you as a leader motivating everyone beyond just the capital to say they're part of a cool brand? The biggest turning point for us was when everyone realized that we were the coolest, fastest growing brand on TikTok, that that snowball started rolling down that mountain faster.
And do you think it's about hopping on, let's just call them macro trends on TikTok, or is it more about native to your specific brand?
It's a combination of both. I mean, like the macro trends is what consumers are looking for. And then obviously the algorithm pushes your content in a certain way so you can follow the macro trends. People come to me and it's like, dude, I sent 5,000 samples out to all these creators and I got 5 responses and 5 videos. It didn't work. I made $20,000 on TikTok and like, I don't know how to scale this. It's like, dude, how are you cultivating them beyond that? Like, it's not just sending them product and hoping like an influencer post. It's the same thing as like the old school method, How do you build a community? I'm going to jump to another story. Yep. But my buddy Dan Morris, he started Sugar Bear Hair.
I love Dan.
Dan's the man.
Great guy.
He's great, right?
He's the Facebook OG, actually.
He's the Facebook OG, but the way he built Facebook is he would crush it on TikTok now because he got all his influencers and he made the influencers almost jealous of each other because he would send the nicest box to them. And if you were part of the Sugar Bear Hair group, you felt really, really special, but you had to earn your way in there. Right. And the same way, you have to kind of earn your way to be a neuro TikTok creator now. And then if you're part of that group, he was sending them to Coachella to hang out with like the Kardashians. He's sending them to like whatever trip in Florida. Like it's such a beautiful way to build the culture and have them all hang out with each other. They're always going to be loyal to you. And in the same way, like I love all of our creators, and we treat them with that love. We put some of them up in Times Square in December, like literally for the entire world to see, and we'll give them that kind of treatment because they do so much for us and you have to be willing to commit that much.
For context, for people listening, Sugar Bear Hair, and let's just say 17, 18, 19, probably even 2020, 2021 was on the internet like a fashion nova, like so many influencers, they were bombing the whole entire internet. So to take a step back, just to get some context. So you think build some sort of SOP, some sort of brand Bible, make it harder than you probably think so you can kind of vet out the weak people to really see and understand that they really know about your brand. Create some sort of group. It could be Discord, it could be Slack. Make sure that you drive culture and community in there. and then potentially tier out the different levels where they can drive GMV, which is gross merchandising volume for people listening. And then basically just incentivize them to keep pushing volume while building a community that you would anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. And also people want to feel special.
Yeah.
That's why you build the tiers. People want to feel special. That's why you only take 10 of them to like a trip to Florida, or give them a Rolex or a play. Like we also have those kind of systems, like these prize systems. That's why only 3 of them were able to be on billboards all across Miami or up on Times Square. Like, how do you make these creators feel special if they're performing incredibly well? Because they deserve all that special treatment.
Completely agree. And this whole entire system that you've built, absolutely amazing. Does this work in other channels, other affiliate channels, or do you think this is just native to TikTok because of the ease of TikTok Shop?
TikTok is definitely the easiest. I mean, affiliate has been maybe like 5 to 10% of our business to a certain degree, like throughout the years, this last decade. But it's so hard to build a relationship with your affiliates in the same way that you could build a relationship with an affiliate or a creator on TikTok. And so you have to leverage that. I mean, if you're going on impact.com or CJ, these like publishing partners, or even like old school like email affiliates and things like that, like these publishers are so driven by money, and you could give them like the prizes and everything, but these creators show their face on TikTok. They're the face of the brand that's representing you, selling your product. And so they want to know that they're a part of something cool. These other like Commission Junction or Impact affiliates or like the email affiliates or any of these other guys, they're building landing pages, trying to drive Facebook traffic and like getting the delta on the CAC.
Zero personal relationship with that. We've done
no
Impact
personal
before,
relationship.
and we were on like random different blogs. We never interfaced with the actual people that were pushing our product, and they were just getting...
Even if you want to, they don't want it. Like, they don't care.
Yeah, because what you're saying is that notion, that video they have to watch, it's only as good as the secondary conversation after it to understand and know if they actually understand the brand and are passionate about the brand. So how are you getting these influencers? Are you guys spending money and driving traffic to a page? Or are you cold outreaching to people? How are you getting this influx of people that want to be in your community?
I mean, we used to cold outreach. And then if they were like really good creators, like we would just put them on a retainer. And so other creators, we attracted to that because there are creator superstars in this TikTok ecosystem, For us, honestly, like we pull from other TAPs, like we pull from
What's
other...
a TAP?
Like a TikTok affiliate partner.
Nice.
Yeah. So we pull from other taps, like we pull from other groups. We do our own recruiting now because that makes way more sense for us than cold outreaching a bunch of people. Cause like, dude, I don't know how many it is, but there's millions of people that are on TikTok Shop with 5,000 followers, getting 100 ping requests every single day. I'm one of them, just to see, like, I can show you my TikTok like creator requests, and I have like 10 companies reaching out to me every single hour. Like, you could be the best company in the world and no one's going to respond to you,
Makes sense. To give everybody context, how much is like one of your top TikTok affiliates doing like per month?
How much are we paying them, or how much are they generating in GMV for us?
Either or.
I mean, we have affiliates like generating millions for us on a monthly basis. Not millions, like close to $1 million, I would say, on a monthly basis.
Wow. So you're saying there's people over the whole entire year making multi-million dollars with you guys?
Yeah. Our top creators, yeah. But they're like and then those guys pump out like 5 videos a day. It's crazy. And then one pops and it's just like, in one day, they're generating $250,000. Like I remember in December, like mid-December, there was one guy that just, during our TikTok new arrivals, like he leveraged all the Steve Aoki, like the Times Square, all that hype we were building, and generated $250,000 in one day. It was crazy.
Unbelievable. Looking back, what one TikTok campaign or one TikTok post did the best? Can we break that down? What's one that you remember that crushed it?
So there's 3 that always work and always pop up. One is Shark Tank, and it's not just a Shark Tank clip. They frame it in a way where it's Kevin O'Leary calling our deal stinky poo-poo is the biggest mistake he's ever made in his life. And listen to this. This is why. This gum is now doing this much in revenue this year. They spin it into this incredible story, and they use like Ryan's background as a paraplegic. My background is like an athlete. So stuff like that works really well, right?
And it's a combination of you guys getting shit on and then kind of an underdog story.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then we have our Joe Rogan clips, right? So people will clip Joe Rogan when he was pitching to Bobby Lee about how much he loves NeuroGum. And so people will clip that and be like, this is the gum that Joe Rogan's talking about. And like, that's more bottom of funnel, but it's like taking the biggest podcaster in the world, talking about your product, and then like pushing that out.
So to put a bow on that, for somebody that wanted to get on TikTok Shop, you would say the first piece of advice would be, personally, as the leader and driver of the company or the CMO, to just go in and just focus on inputs. Post as much as you possibly can. Keep learning, keep iterating.
Yeah, input. Just like, don't hesitate. Fear is a mind killer. Just fucking go.